Welcome to Sovereign Mamas, the podcast sanctuary for visionary women who are building lives, businesses, and legacies in alignment with their feminine power. I'm your host, Julia Jörg, intuitive business coach, mama of two, and systems strategist for solo-led entrepreneurs. Here, we honor both your sacred role as a mama and your wild vision as a changemaker. Expect soul-aligned strategy, raw storytelling, behind the scenes, and powerful conversations that support you in scaling your business without sacrifice. If you're done choosing between success and sovereignty, you're home. Let's begin. Hello, and welcome back, I should say, to today's guest at least, and to the listeners, if this is your first time, then welcome to Sovereign Mamas, the podcast. As always, I like to start by saying, well done, you carved out time, you did it, you prioritized your well-being, your mental health, your connection time, and that is so important. And welcome back, Sami. So good to see you. I know.
Thank Oh, I was just gonna say thank you. I'm so excited to be back and chatting with you.
Yeah, I'm so happy to see you back. And the reason why I'm saying back is because Sammy, you've been here on this podcast before. We've done already an interview with you, but today it's slightly a different angle, and we said it's so necessary and great that we're gonna do this again because we are on a journey together, and that is your book writing journey. And
Yeah.
so, Sammy, you're one of the co-authors of Secrets of Sovereign Mamas, our book series inside Sovereign Mamas. And edition number one, the moment we're recording this, edition number one is just in its ending phase, is about to hit publish and go live with it. And I just wanted to take a moment to ask you how you were feeling about this whole process and what actually made you jump in and join this project.
Yeah. Oh, I love this question. When you first brought this project up, instantly I was like, oh my gosh, yes. I didn't even read the whole email. And I definitely didn't read it thoroughly either. It was just like as soon as I saw Secrets of a Sovereign Mom, I was like, yes, I want to be a part of it. Yes, I want to share. Yes, I want to help empower moms into their freedom in motherhood, in business, in life, like the whole journey. And I don't think we talk enough about all of the little nuances. And so I was so excited to jump in and really just share my story to see if it hits and sparks anything for really anyone, even one person, that's like, oh, I feel that. And then they make a slight change, and then their whole experience through motherhood and life and business is is happier or easier or however it is that they want to experience it. But that's what really made me want to jump right on in. And I honestly had so many different thoughts and stories to throw at you, to like to give to you. And it was a lot harder than I thought picking one thing and getting it into just one chapter when I'm like, do I talk about this? Do I talk about this? Do I take this angle? Should I look at it from this? This is the biggest thing that helped me, but oh, this is helping me. Oh, but this is what I'm going through now. Oh, but this is what I went through. So it was quite a journey just figuring out the focus of it. But I'm so glad I did. And I'm so glad that you were there to have my back too, to help me uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Edit, I guess. Your feedback of like, just all your feedback throughout the whole process. But yeah, that I'm just so excited to have everyone listen. And even if, and all of our chapters are so different. I know we're not talking about everyone's chapter, but I'm just so excited to get it out for moms from every different aspect and walk of life to be like, oh, I relate to that, or oh, I relate to that. So it's been a real honor to be a part of it.
Amazing. I love that.
Yeah.
And I love what you said about the nuances, because this is exactly why I initially wanted to create this project, because I feel we are brushing through life and brushing over things and taking little day-to-day situations for granted. And, I want to shed the light onto those heroic decisions, endurance moments, situations that really require us to, get the mama bear out or get this,
Mhm.
train this muscle of, yeah, perseverance. And it's not talked enough about these things, and they matter so much. They create the bond between our children and help us raise our children. And yet it's just something that society looks at. It's a natural thing mothers have to do. That's just their jobs. And I feel like we could rephrase that and say it's not just so natural. Yes, the hormones helping. We're
Yeah.
born to have children, okay, but then still, there's different ways of mothering, and then let's
Mhm.
add the layer of entrepreneurship on top of it, right? So this is why this book is also not, now I'm using quotes. If you don't watch the video, I'm using my fingers, right? Only mother. But here are stories and here are women who are walking the path of motherhood and entrepreneurship. And that's such a unique combination, which shows, I mean, I'm really honoring everyone who's daring to even try. And those who've been in the game for some years, they know it's full on, because you're going on a personal development journey when you are an entrepreneur. You have so many juggles and challenges and things on your plate when you are an entrepreneur wanting to birth your mission into this life, and at the same time raising humans. So how do you feel about that, being both?
I think that it's such a challenge, just to your point, as an entrepreneur, that's a growth journey in itself in every little aspect. And then as a mom, every chapter, every every development of your child is a new chapter in your motherhood too. So it's like a double whammy in growth and learning and development. And yeah, so it's already hard enough being one or the other. Excuse me. Yeah, it's hard enough being one or the other. When you add them together and it's like, oh my gosh, how do I navigate this without feeling like I'm failing at something? And I think
Mhm.
that's what a lot of moms, and even if they're not entrepreneurs, and then I'm sure even if you were just an entrepreneur and not a mom, there's so many times that you're like, I'm just failing at this, or this is like so much harder than I thought, or just, yeah. So I really think that it's a journey to be honored and aware that it's hard. Both are hard. Together, it's even harder.
Yeah, exactly. And now back to your writing journey, when you said, because I remember you were excited and you said, I already know what I'm gonna write
Yeah.
about. And then last minute you pivoted.
Mhm.
Maybe share a little bit about that.
Yeah. So I really thought that I wanted to speak um, my experience with postpartum rage after my second postpartum, which I think we had chatted about in my first interview with you because it was such a pivotal moment in my motherhood, in my life, in my business journey, all of it. And during that time, we had an old dog that we knew we were going to have to make a hard decision about soon. And that same time, we had another unexpected event, and our second dog was diagnosed with cancer and didn't make it 24 hours after we found out. All that was in a 2 day period of each other, which for anyone who has animals and have lost them, like that is a huge thing. Then again, add on parenting. We had two young kids, and I won't go into all the details because I do speak a little bit more in the chapter too, but then how navigating that in my parenting
Mhm.
and how to comfort them while comforting me. And then add on that there is a business to run too. And how do I not take this like deep sadness and despair, how to honor that without it, without completely shutting down the business, but without also pretending like it's not going on because it's still real life, and really just navigating how to become present with everything going on, even in like that. It was so incredibly hard. And so as this was going on, and it happened like right before the chapter was due, and totally had something completely different written, like completely different topic. And I was like, no, you know what? I think I need to pivot and write about what exactly I'm going through now because it's such real life. Like maybe not the fact that not everyone's losing two dogs within 2 days of each other and going from like a house full of dogs to no dogs, which is super weird. But there's always something that we're going through.
Mhm.
There's always something. And so really bringing it into honoring our feelings and honoring that it's not always perfect and how to do that as a mom for me, like just as my own soul and my own self, also how
Mhm.
to show up for my children and comfort and be there for them. And then also now how do I be a CEO of a company and so while still honoring me and not depleting myself because I feel like I need to be extra businessy or something
Mhm.
like that. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And so this was actually a really brave moment of you to say, and I'm on top of everything that's going on, I'm going to rewrite my chapter and
oh
make
yeah,
it in time to submit it. I mean, wow, what a
yeah.
contribution.
True.
Uh,
And I know like the first chapter or the first edit that I wrote was very much just like mind onto the paper. And and then I submitted it and I know you were like, "Oh, like this is great. Like let's like just look at it like one more time." And as I'm rereading, I'm like, "Oh, this entire like second piece of it hadn't fully dropped in yet because I was literally living and experiencing it." So it worked out so beautifully because by the time I got to write the second edition of it or the second edit, second version, whatever. I
mhm.
had then I was able to then like process a little bit more and let everything sink in and was like, wow, I can actually now speak to this even deeper. And I think it would make an even bigger impact for moms to really have like this radical acceptance of what's going on
Mm,
and how freeing that is. It was like this is true freedom. And at the time when I first wrote the chapter, I was like, I wasn't fully there yet. I was still very much in the feeling of it. And then I could reflect back and be like, oh wow, I needed to be in the feeling to get here and how good and that felt so good. So yeah.
yeah, amazing, amazing. And what are your thoughts around writing? Because everyone I've
Yeah.
come across when you talk and say writing a book, yeah, it's on my list, and then they
Yeah.
to this point where it just feels overwhelming doing an entire book by yourself, and then having to contribute just one chapter plus the fact that you're now connected with 10 other women who are on the same mission. How do you feel about that?
Ah, so I personally loved it. I have written a children's book in the past, and so I have a little experience with the writing and the publishing part. Again, though it was my book and I didn't have to, I worked with an editor, of course,
Mhm.
but as far as the writing and like the illustration, that was all on me. So there wasn't any communication that had to happen outside. It was really just me creating the time to just
Mhm.
do it. You know, I had to edit it multiple times. Um, which I think could maybe be overwhelming to some people too, like just that experience, especially if you're like kind of being told that if you, you know, you're being told that you need to rein it in or cut it shorter or speak to it differently. You know, I think a lot of people could be like, oh, I'm doing it wrong or they don't like it or, you know, something's wrong with me when really it's just not the point of
Of the
the
book.
message you're trying to get out or the book. Yeah. So then with this experience, I went into it being like, I've got this. This is so easy. Like I've written a book before. Granted, I know it was a children's book, but it was still a book nonetheless. And I was like, it's going to be super easy because I've done it before. And then when I was writing, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to create like it's just one chapter. It's just one. Like, how do I get this entire message in under 3,000 words? I think it was, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Under 3,000 words. And I had to go back and cut like 600 words from it and then, you know, tweak it here and tweak it there. And I actually found that to be really fun of like looking at it being like, how can I get this message that I'm trying to get through, especially like around radical acceptance? Like, how can I get this entire like life lived of lessons that come down to these two words? How do I get that into 3,000 words and do it justice to where you'll be able to feel it and it's not just like a boring textbook, like, you know,
Mhm.
do this, do that. So that then became really challenging, but also really fun uh, to try to figure out how to do that. And then I love the fact that as I was thinking about it, yeah, there's 10, 11 other moms, women, people who have amazing, incredible stories that are doing the same and really trying to channel in that we're all here to help other moms or women. Um, I know it's like sovereign mamas, so I'm assuming most of the readers will probably be women, but I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
mom. I mean, I'm sure all
Wow.
of them most likely moms, but how do we get like this whole collective of just freedom into these chapters that as you're reading it, you're like, whoa, like all of these moms have lives and stories, and we're all sharing just a tiny piece. And I think it really brings us all together.
Mhm.
Obviously, us as the authors of the book, but really as an entire mother collective that
Mhm.
you can see these normal stories and be like, whoa, like you don't have to be some crazy famous person to have your story matter. Like everyone's story matters. So I think that was a really fun process and we all got together to chat and really get to know each other and share. That was yeah, it was really special.
Yeah, fantastic. And that's exactly one of the points that I also want to really highlight here because you said it so perfectly. You don't have to be a famous person or you don't have to have everything like your act in place. Um, a few conversations that I had lately for the second edition, which is now in the making, and the women said, I mean, there were doubts coming up and questions. Am I even ready to contribute to something like this? Because I don't feel like I've arrived. I don't feel like I have a story to tell. And just to this point, I mean, everyone has a story to tell. And even if you're not at, we're never going to be in an ending situation where we say, now we're
Yeah.
complete. Life is always a process. We're always on a journey.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll always learn something new or are in this creation stage of life. And whatever stage you're in, and if you listen now, thinking, oh, I might be able to, but I'm not sure, then just know this, you've gone through hard situation. You've gone through growth situations, amazing transformations that might not have struck you as really impactful or big, but
Mhm.
know and trust that other people look up to you, and know and trust that other people are still one step behind you, and know and trust that the thoughts, the problems, the challenges, the dreams and wishes that you have inside of you a lot of other people share. And so when
Yeah.
reading and verbalizing and letting that out and actually, be open and vulnerable and share, this is me, and let your story be seen, you will be
Mhm.
able to get those who are still in this becoming phase and maybe a bit more
Yeah.
behind or even ahead of you, but look back like it's a connection process and it's a healing process. You're healing through the writing process, and the
Yeah.
other person who's on the receiving end is healing at the same time by just knowing, oh, I'm not alone.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that in itself matters, and that in itself
It
makes
does.
the project important. So, yeah, thank you so
Yeah.
much, Sammy, that you did listen to your gut and to that feeling. And it really has been an amazing journey, and also for me
Yeah.
as the curator and project
Yeah.
initiator. It's been so fantastic to see how no one really is an author in there, like no one is a writer as a
Mhm.
profession, and all these stories are mind blowing. They're just like,
Yeah.
they all brought me to tears reading it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love a book that does that. A good book that does that. Especially a good book that just you read it and you're like, oh, I can relate. And this person is like my next door neighbor kind of a
Mhm,
deal. And like,
mhm.
oh, I do matter. I don't have to be in the spotlight to matter. Like I can matter and like no one could ever know my story, but it still matters. So yeah,
Yes,
thank
yes.
you.
Yeah, thank you. And yes, for everyone who is inspired, we do have the launch on February 14th. And then, of course, you can purchase anytime, or if you want to get in touch with the authors inside the book, there will be links to everyone's profiles and websites. And we also have this amazing special going on, but that's for purchases on the launch day itself. So if you end up buying Secrets of Sovereign Mamas on Valentine's Day, maybe you want to gift yourself a little gift for self-love. And if you did it on the 14th, then you receive 11 amazing offers, I should say, amazing offers, who the co-authors are contributing. They're normally paid mini courses, coaching sessions. They range from, we have a branding course in there. There's, yeah, therapy sessions. And
So
so
much.
normally they are offers, people pay for them, and you get them for free if you purchase on the 14th and support us on our launch day. And if you wonder what Sami is contributing into that 11th amazing offer list, then Sami, please, what is
Yeah.
your contribution?
Mm, I'm so excited. Okay. So it is a free year-long membership to Good Enough Matrescence, which is all about supporting moms in rewriting and redefining our motherhood journey, really just for more ease and support and peace and connection. And so it's an entire resource library and just other moms that get it. And so it's the entire year for free, which is normally $365.
Wow, that's such great value, and it's an amazing
Yeah.
platform. And I personally know that this platform is including experts and not only resources, so you get to actually
Yeah.
pick someone's brain if you have specific questions. So it's a
Yeah.
really, really great place to be in and have access to it for 1 year to support your motherhood journey, entrepreneurship journey. So thank you so much for chipping that in, Sami.
Anything to just help support all of us. So read the book, join all the things. It'll be amazing.
Yeah, thank you. Thank
Love
you,
it.
Sami. It was fun chatting about it.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, and have a beautiful rest of your sunny winter day. And
Thank you.
thanks everyone for listening. And we're excited for you to have this book in your hands soon. All right.
Yay.